Hey friends, Ash here with gentsscents. Hope you're doing really well. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 of my choices, both niche and indie, for this spring. So these are 10 of the fragrances that I have been wearing and that I've been looking forward to wearing, and I'm going to share those with you guys here today. And today's video is sponsored by ScentSplit.com. They sell decants and samples of hard to find and expensive fragrances. That way you can check them out before you buy a full bottle so you know whether or not you like it. And when we're talking about expensive fragrances, it's pretty important. You should sample first if at all possible, because there are few things in this world more annoying or frustrating than buying a fragrance that cost you $300 or more. Then you get it in and you're like, yes, 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 yes. And you spray it on and you go, I hate it. So if at all possible, sample before you buy those really expensive fragrances. Got a link in the description to ScentSplit.com. And I'm also gonna link most of these fragrances at ScentSplit as well in the description. So, that out of the way, let's jump into it. I'm gonna start this off with a couple of honorable mentions. The first one I wanna talk about is this one from Olfactive Studio, Panorama. This one's gonna be a little bit hit or miss. Some people are not gonna dig this one, other people are gonna like it a lot. I myself am a huge fan of very green fragrances, and you can tell just by the coloration, that's what you're getting right here. This one has balsam fir, fig leaf, grass, and wasabi as some of the notes in the fragrance. Yeah, that's a little bit out of the ordinary. Don't typically see wasabi used. And when you spray this on, actually, you get a pretty good amount of it. It's got a green grassy feel, but then it has a bite to it, which is that wasabi. And that's what's gonna turn some people off. But for me, I think it's really unique and I like it a lot. Then another one I wanna talk about really quickly, Homage to Hemingway from Mask Milano. This fragrance is built around vetiver, which is one of my favorite notes. Now, I say that this is built around vetiver. There are multiple types of vetiver in here, including Javanese and Haitian vetiver. There's also rhubarb in here and ginger. So you get this little sparkly pop in the opening, and then the vetiver really comes into play, and it changes as it dries down and works through the different styles of vetiver in the scent. So if you're a big fan of vetiver, absolutely check that one out. There's just another fragrance that I like more that centers around vetiver that you're gonna find later on in the list. Okay, let's jump into it, the official top 10. Though, you know, depending on my mood, I could choose to wear one of the honorable mentions over the number one fragrance in this list. It's really just depending on the day. Let's start this off with number 10, Jardin de Poet from Eau d'Italie. And I just can never pronounce that name and make it sound even remotely proper or correct. It's got basil, cypress, bitter orange, and vetiver as some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one is a very lively, refreshing green fragrance. This one gets compared to some of the Un Jardin fragrances in the Hermes line, and it's kind of in that style, in that vein. If you like those fragrances, you should like this one. It's very fresh, it's got nice fruity notes in there. It's almost got like a green leaf facet to it as well. Really a great scent during daytime hours when it's warm outside and everything's starting to bloom again. That's a killer. The house gets pretty much overlooked. Don't really see it talked about all that often. But when you can pick these up, they're typically not that expensive, talking about the full bottle. And so they're a nice kind of under the radar niche house for a lot of people. Number 9 is from Xerjoff, and the fragrance is Fiero. Now this one gets compared to Dior Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette. And there is definitely a similarity between the two fragrances. Not the exact same, but you can smell this one and pick out pieces of Eau Sauvage in the scent. There's lemongrass, bergamot, neroli, vetiver, and lemon as some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one has a sort of a throwback, old school, gentlemanly feel to it. It does remind you of fragrances that came out around the time of Eau Sauvage, so throwing it back as far as even the 50s. I will say this one is probably a little bit more modern than Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette is. So a lot of people are gonna find it more wearable in day-to-day life nowadays than Dior Eau Sauvage. And this one's really clean, really sophisticated, a fragrance that you can easily wear to the office or more formal situations. Up next is a fragrance that I really wear when I don't necessarily wanna wear a fragrance. It's Molecule O2 from Eccentric Molecules. And you can't spell ambroxan, which is the main note in here, without bro. You know what I'm talking about, bro. Ambroxan. Main ingredient in such fantastic fragrances as Dior, Sauvage. Molecule 01 is the fragrance that gets the most hype from this line. That one focuses on ISO-E Super or ISO Gamma Super. This one though is just as good as Molecule 01, if not better. Actually, for me personally, I prefer this one. It is a soft fragrance. It's not gonna really project out heavily. It's pretty simple as well, obviously, since it's just built around ambroxan. It is a surprisingly big positive compliment puller though, for people that do pick that up as you move around. It's nice, it's warm, and subtle. And another thing that's good about that fragrance is if you do want to layer it with other things, it works very well, and it gives fragrances a little added dimension that they may not have without it. Though for me, I typically just wear it by itself. Number 7 is from Kieren NYC. It is 10 AM Flirt. This one is built around fig and cashmere wood with a floral touch, and this is perfect for spring days. And you can kind of pick that up just from the coloration, the color scheme used in the bottle, that green color. Fig is a note that seems to just work perfectly during this time of year. That type of slightly exotic fruitiness that it gives off with this sometimes creamy feel, it works great. And in here with the cashmere giving you a nice modern dry down, it is perfect. This one is also not very expensive from Kieren NYC, so it's one of those rare indie or niche fragrances that's not gonna break the bank. I would say from the entire house as of right now, this one is probably my favorite, and it is just a great dumb reach kind of fragrance for this time of year where you just grab it, spray it, and go, don't have to think about it. And it's also a unisex fragrance, so sometimes my wife will steal that from me. So there's that. Number 6, we're gonna go with Byredo Gypsy Water. It's got juniper, lemon, pine needles, and sandalwood as some of the notes in the fragrance. Very fresh, but it has this sort of sweet, creamy undertone in the base of the scent. And for me also, the lemon actually comes across a little bit creamy as well. It's got this really enticing, inviting opening, big compliment pulling fragrance. Doesn't project all that heavily off my skin, not a monstrous performer at all actually. But the scent itself, it's really good. And that's a fragrance I actually haven't worn all that much over the past few years. And then I sprayed it again. You know, one of those things where you have something in your collection, you don't spray it for a long time, then you come back to it and spray it and you go, why haven't I been wearing this? That's basically what happened. Okay, number 5, I love this scent. Sultan Vetiver from Nishane. Now this you could wear in spring or fall, but I wear it pretty much anytime I can, so that's why it's on this list. And this is the one that caused Hemingway to get bumped down a little bit. This, at this point, is just one of my favorite fragrances to smell. It's got multiple facets of vetiver in here. So you have, again, like Hemingway, multiple types of vetiver used. So what that does is it gives you kind of an evolution of vetiver as it dries down on your skin. At different points in the fragrance's lifespan, you're gonna get a grassy vetiver, a dry vetiver, a smoky vetiver, an earthy vetiver. You get it all. And it just smells amazing from start to finish. So this one right here, you can use anytime, any situation, day or night, and it's gonna work, in my opinion. But you do need to like vetiver. Number 4, Felocicos from Diptyque. It's got coconut, it has woods, it has fig leaf, and it has fig. Also has fig tree, I believe, so a lot of fig going on. I mean, they even put a fig right on the front for you. And this goes back a little bit to what I said with 10 AM Flirt. Fig works fantastically for me in the spring. And I've talked about this before as well, but I'm gonna say it again. Diptyque, in my opinion, is one of the best bang for your buck niche houses out there if we're talking about full retail price versus what you get. And this one right here is one of the best, most well-known from the house for a good reason. So that one right there, if you're a fan of fig fragrances and you've never smelled that for some reason, absolutely you need to check that out. Number 3, this one is one that I think a lot of people would consider more of a summer fragrance, but for me it's really spring, summer, fall, or winter, pretty much. It's Elysium from Raja Parfum, and this is the Parfum Cologne version. It's got grapefruit, it's got vetiver, it's got ambergris, it's got blackcurrant, it's got juniper. Actually, it's got a whole lot of notes, a whole lot of notes. And this one, of course, is Raja Parfum's blue fragrance, in case you couldn't tell by the bottle. I mean, of course that's what this is. So what does that mean? It means this fragrance is made for maximum versatility, maximum appeal. It's made to get compliments. It's made to be worn basically anywhere, anytime. And it succeeds at all of that. This one's a huge compliment puller. The reason that I pull this out in spring and wear it through summer is because it is just so easy to wear. You can match it with anything and it's gonna work. And I've said that about a couple of these, but that one truly is that type of scent. It's basically like, you know, Bleu de Chanel taken to the next level and beyond as far as quality goes. It doesn't really smell like Bleu de Chanel, just using that example as a fragrance that you would wear with pretty much anything. You get it. Okay, number 2. This one I love, but it's a little divisive because there's a bunch of clove in here. And if you don't like that note, you're gonna have a bad time with this one probably. It's Bracken Man from Amouage. This one has patchouli, cypress, lavender, and of course, cloves, like I just said. And this one is one that I loved the second I smelled it. This stuff just captured my attention right away. This is a strong aromatic fougere in the best of ways. Yes, it's a little slightly old school at times. Yes, it's grown up. It's got a little mature vibe to it, but it is awesome. It's so fresh, it's bracing, and it just blows me away every time I smell it, even to today. The cloves could be a deal breaker for some of you out there, but for me, I think it's amazing. Okay, number 1 fragrance, no surprise at all. It's just Creed Green Irish Tweed. Come on, get with it. It's got violet leaf, it's got iris, it's got lemon verbena, it's got ambergris, it's got mint, it's got sandalwood. You already knew that, maybe. Green Irish Tweed is one of the best spring fragrances ever. I would say most likely my favorite fragrance ever. Now that can change again depending on the day, but I love, love, love Green Irish Tweed. I always will. Green Irish Tweed is, for me, the quintessential spring fragrance. This is what I think of. As soon as everything starts getting green again, everything starts coming back to life, it starts heating up, you best believe I bust this out with the quickness. I can wear this anywhere, anytime, I don't care. Yes, it leans more toward daytime wear, but again, I don't care. I will wear this whenever I can. So Green Irish Tweed, number 1, not much of a surprise. I love this one. So there we go. 12 different fragrances technically, and I'm gonna link them below at ScentSplit.com. And again, shout out to ScentSplit.com for sponsoring the video. Check them out if you need samples or decants. And that's gonna do it for me. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll probably be back with the summer niche top 10 before long because it's getting hot pretty quickly. And yeah, stay safe out there. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you tomorrow.